Hello, hello again, everybody. Welcome in to the Mission Debrief. Everything that has to do with all the challenges everybody's facing out there in the automobile space today and what we can try to do to help you navigate that and actually how to win and beat your competition. This is Call Team 6, Special Ops for Car Dealers, your virtual remote BDC from all across the country, serving dealerships all across the country, the fastest growing BDC in the country right now with all U.S.-based agents. We are here to share with you some insight that we have whenever it comes to execution of the campaigns and the everyday outreach that you are generating with your teams there on the ground, how we can complement that, and what we can do to help you win. And this is episode 8 of the Mission Debrief from Call Team 6, Special Ops for Car Dealers. Along with me today, again, is our CEO, Ken Kingstad, in studio here in Boca Raton, Florida. And Ken, welcome in today. Thanks for being here with us again today. We're very excited to hear what you've got for us today on today's subject matter.
Well, I appreciate that, Jeff. And it's always a pleasure to come to Boca Raton, right? It's always a pleasure coming down here. And today...
Especially when you're coming from Jersey and it's November.
Yes, exactly, right. No doubt, for sure. It's always a pleasure. And I think today's going to be a great episode. We're going to get into service. We're going to talk a lot about how do you get your unfair share again in terms of your service business and how you can possibly utilize your phone process, the systems, your AI, and how can you grow that part of your business. We all know that 60% of your business comes from the fixed side of things, and we're going to get a little deeper into that today and share some of the great processes that we've come across the country and our dealerships and share those with everyone.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And, of course, with us in studio today all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina, again, is our COO, Mr. Ryan Mays. Ryan, welcome. Woo-hoo. What's new and improved in the BDC world right now that you can actually point toward that we can talk about?
Well, some of the fun things we're going to talk about today is the state of the union as far as where fixed ops sits economically, where dealerships are, as far as RO averages and counts, what's the trend, and a few misconceptions out there between the cost of a dealership versus independent. We have some data about that out there. And then, of course, we always have our tactical tips and our best practices, which we're going to follow up. We're ready to do it. So if you're ready to kind of fine-tune your service department a little bit, this is the one you want to listen to. So hang around.
Excellent. Appreciate that. We're, yes, definitely looking forward to it. And in studio with us again today, very excited about this. One of our vendor partners and a longtime associate and our typical go-to guy for all things that has to do with growth and opportunity for dealerships out there because he's such a wealth of knowledge. Mr. Todd Phipps from Insight Live is here with us again, the Todd Father.
Thanks.
Welcome in, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Todd.
Welcome.
We'll look forward to your insight as well, no pun intended.
Thank you.
Right?
Insight.
In today's sponsors, we start to get into the mission launch and field report segment of our program. We want to make sure we give a couple of shouts out to our sponsors of this program, which would be the one and only Podcast Junkies right here in the Meisner Park area, Boca Raton, and which is where we are today. And that would be headed up by none other than our producer, Ben Castro. Ben, welcome in, buddy. Thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great message. Great people all need to follow Call Team 6, Mission Debrief. Check us out.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right. And, of course, our other sponsor of today's program is Insight Live. A special shout out to them as well. Marketing, events-based company. Todd, for those who don't know a little bit about what Insight Live does, maybe recap a little bit from our last podcast.
Yeah, we do. We're an event and campaign company. We drive a lot of traffic through our own proprietary CRM into our partnership with Call Team 6 all over the country, probably 30 to 40 of those a month. We feel like we are a little above the curve at this point after 18 years in the business and still working in the stores and understanding what's going on directly in the stores still also.
Absolutely. We really appreciate your being here. Todd joined us all the way today, making the trip from the Tampa Bay, St. Pete area over there where it's absolutely beautiful this time of year for sure. There's not, I'm not sure there's anywhere you can actually catch a sunset the same as you can on the West Coast over there.
Not quite
Right?
like that.
I'm
West
just
Coast,
just
no.
occurred to me, right?
No, not quite.
I mean, when we've been visiting you guys over there, it's we've had a couple opportunities to see that. It's pretty amazing,
Yeah, Ken
actually.
loves that place.
I really do.
Right, right.
Yeah, and that white sand is
Yep.
spectacular.
Ben, you're familiar with the Tampa area, right? You've been over on the West Coast over there.
A little bit, a couple times. I've been over to Fort Myers. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sanibel Island, gorgeous over there. Great experience.
Shells.
Yeah, yep.
All over the place, huh?
All over the place.
And what was the one thing you said difference between the East Coast of Florida and the West Coast?
We have
On the
white
Gulf
sand,
side?
you have brown sand.
We got to work on that, right? We have red tide. You have no
we have red
red tide.
tide.
Oh, you do. You have
You
red.
get it too, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. For those of you, if you're a little bit unfamiliar, we really appreciate our growing community of our audience of fellow automobile dealership career individuals, primarily being those who comprise a dealership's leadership team. General manager, owner, dealer operators, GSMs, fixed ops managers, all the way to BDC managers as well. We are a remote virtual BDC company who really leads the way whenever it comes to combining the very latest in technology and operational improvements where we can really make a big difference in your bottom line, and then also the technology that goes along with that as well, and our personnel. All U.S.-based agents, all here trained by our CEO, personally, Ken Kingstad, who we just met a moment ago, who actually was the original co-creator of the BDC model back in the early 90s. So, we are certainly at an advantage whenever it comes to cutting-edge technology and components that can really complement everything you're trying to do to grow your dealership business out there. And that kind of leads us to where we're going to talk about today, which we haven't ever visited before, but I'm not certain there's anything more timely out there right now whenever it comes to subject matter that could be more impactful to dealerships, navigating, all of the opportunities that are, available out there that they're dealing with, on a day-to-day basis. And that's kind of where we live. We have our own marketing agency. We have a comprehensive team available for our dealership clients, and we try to disseminate some of the takeaways that you can put in place today, whether you use us or not. In fact, and those three primary areas where we live and where we try to have an impact for dealers out there is, as we always state, because they are the top three challenges that dealers face, and that is new customer acquisition, defection prevention, and missed opportunity re-engagement. That's where we spend most of our time, and that's where our wheelhouse really is. And which brings us to our major topic in our mission launch and field report. We talked last time about what's going on out at Digital Dealer. Ken, you were actually a speaker. You had a speaking session out there. The entire auditorium there was packed, as was the CT6 booth there during the entire event. And I think the topic was not only for sales but also for service, as I believe the title was BDC Reimagined for today's environment. Right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was very. Yeah, because going back to your point, Jeff, starting out and being the co-creator of the BDC back in, we launched it in '92. But I mean, you look at it and why we did what we did then, and then you look at today in 2025, and obviously there's a lot of similarities over those years, but I'm trying to reimagine what does the real new BDC model look like, and that's what we talked about. And we talked about how AI is powering a lot of what's happening, and no surprise, right, in terms of that. But that's also, we talked about where our AWS and our partnership with Amazon and our CRM that's powered by an agentic AI was rolled out there too, and was really well received by a few of the OEMs actually. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, it's nice
to be able to share that. We talked a lot about, where is the BDC today when it comes to sales and the variable side, and then we also talked about it, and it comes as the fixed side. And it's interesting as we've talked a lot about that. There was over $81 billion last year spent in service, for service and parts. You imagine that? And there was over 137 million repair orders done last year.
Wow.
No, actually, that's the year to date. That's year to date. Last year, there was over $156 billion spent in there. And you think, now you divvy that out across, all the different dealerships across the United States, but are you getting all that you can from that? And I think, as we talk a lot about today, 70% of customers are still reaching out for sales through a phone call. And how are we handling those phone calls? And so that was a big part of it in reimagining, what your customer's wanting. So we talked a lot about a frictionless sales process and a frictionless service process too.
Right.
And how the AI, it doesn't skip any steps, and it does everything perfectly with a human handoff. Because I'm a big fan of AI on itself, and I'm sure there's a lot of dealers out there right now that have certain AI bots that they are tapping into. But what we found is that a lot of those bots customers will drop out of. We've had other AI companies reach out to us and say, hey, can you help us? Because we get about 70% of our customers won't go through the entire process. So I think humans are still needed, obviously, to help carry the torch, to help our dealers get their full and share of what they should be getting from their customer base.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, whenever I know that you're a big believer in that, and because I'm not sure there's a better trainer out there or anybody who can speak with any more authority whenever it comes to handling sales and service traffic, whether it's outbound or whether it's inbound. Todd, I know you own a car yourself, right? So you have a relationship with a dealer, probably somebody you really trust and do business with. But the average everyday consumer out there, if they are calling on the phone to reach a dealership about service, it's a little different with regard to their intentionality than what it would be necessarily with somebody shopping for a new car, trying to find out where they're going to get that, right? Are they calling to chat, or are they trying to get something done?
That's intent
Right?
to have an appointment or a question about their vehicle. I did notice at Digital Dealer, a lot of people were interested in how these are interacting together, like Ken said, the AIs with the human touch, and we realized that we are pretty much the human touch and the AI. Most of the other AI agents that were there were, strictly for AI, and some of them weren't even for service yet. They were more for sales. So.
Well, if we're gonna jump on that, yeah, and part of the reason why I asked you that question is because I think it's important for dealers out there to know, or to be of the frame of mind these days. Okay, so let me just back up a little bit on this. So why are we even talking about this right now? Why is fixed ops been part of perhaps an afterthought? We're going to get what we're going to get for years. That's all we're going to get. We're okay. Our CSI is all right. I don't really know if I'm making money back there or not. I have the statement to look at. Am I looking at it as a real profit opportunity, or just trying to maintain our customers back there? Well, unfortunately today, and hopefully the viewers out there are paying close attention to this, because I know that it's a real hot topic, and it will be moving forward. And that is because margin compression, so many unknown factors in terms of manufacturers out there, and how much they're going to produce. Are they going to be able to produce? Is there a chip shortage coming up? Is there not a chip shortage coming up? All those things that are outside, that are factors that are not controllable by the dealership itself, and it's getting harder and harder to make money. In this space. So everybody's starting to turn to two areas, fixed ops and AI, and they coincide with each other. So, we kind of pride ourselves in being up to date with where the industry's going, because we talk to dealers every single hour who are our clients, and other ones who are who are in the process of being our clients. And that is where the biggest opportunity is for upside, for putting margin to the bottom line, and helping dealerships succeed in general. So that's why we're on here talking about this today, because it has to be an area of concentration. The good news is that we were out in front of this, Ken, you know this, Ryan, you know this, with our people on the service side, BDC, and also analyzing what type of call volume and how the calls were being answered, and if they were being answered and all that. We started analyzing all of that back in 2021, 2022 at a large CDJR store where we were operating out of at the time. And people were, the upper echelon there in that organization, others were kind of going, well, why are you looking at this? Why are we doing this? What's the real reason behind that? And that's because so much of the customer's experience and their determination whether or not they're going to stay with you as a dealership and remain loyal as a customer is based on that, right? And so just a footnote, once we started that, that endeavor, the dealers out there will be able to relate to this. An average month for service and parts gross revenue at that store would have been probably somewhere in the $225,000 range, $250,000 on a good month. By the time we were done, it was well over $700,000, and is a staple now of that entire operation. So we kind of know what we're talking about whenever it comes to growth opportunities, and it starts with some of the things you can actually. Ken, you just mentioned it. Some of the metrics and some of the data that's out there now. Now all of a sudden everybody's starting to catch up, right? So and that's part of what you guys were talking about out at Digital Dealer, which is the differentiator between us and every other techno company out there revolving this is the fact that we've got Amazon AWS partnered with us as the exclusive BDC partner in this entire space. So I don't know if anybody even, there's a lot of AI out there. You talked about it, a lot of, Ryan can probably expound on this somewhat, a lot of bots out there, or the previous version of AI that is being pitched and sold to a lot of people out there, as being actual AI, which is not even in the same ballpark as where you guys live now and where you're taking our dealership clients with, that was introduced out there.
Yeah, I mean, one example, I'll give you a real life example where we're visiting now. The whole reason why they signed up for us is because the AI, I'll air quote here, every time a customer was said, I want to speak to a manager, right? AI just didn't know what to do. Like, it wouldn't transfer. I said, I can help you. No, give me to a manager, It only recognized the word supervisor. I have no idea why. Don't ask me to explain it. But the service manager and the team was just getting hammered with complaints. I can't reach anybody. So, it's one of those things in the service department. One, you focus on answering the phones. That's the first thing, right? 30% of phone calls go missed. We all know that. But if you're going to have an AI there and you're going to say, hey, I can answer 100% 24/7, that's fine. But the stats show that the only thing worse than not picking up your phone is having a terrible AI experience when someone does answer the phone. That's a 90% defection rate right now. Somebody calls in and gets a terrible experience with an air quote AI, they're toast. You're done. You got to have something there that's intelligent, that's more agentic, that can think. It can transfer calls intelligently where it needs to go. Something with a much broader, apparatus than just being an intelligent chatbot, if you will, with hyper personalized guardrails. Again, we're about to go visit a store right now who signed up with us because of that exact problem. So, no solutions are exactly the same. You really kind of have to dive into it, especially out of Digital Dealer where we were at. There were about 6 voice AI companies. There were about 6 out there that had booths, all powered by the same voice AI company. Okay, when you went in and you asked them, "Hey, where's your tech from? Who owns it? Who's this?" It's the same company back. That's just white labeling it to everybody. So you really, when you start to set this up, is number one, make sure you can answer the phone. That's just BDC basics, right? Service department basics. And then two, really measuring what kind of experience that you're having, or the customer is happening, right? Call in, try it yourself, do all that. But just to kind of kick off the whole service conversation, that's where we're seeing it. I mean, a bulk of our dealers are still that we're signing up now are still back at the beginning. I'm still missing calls. And with only a 15, I think the latest numbers that came out, there's only a 15% adoption rate with AI right now, full AI. There's only about a 15% adoption rate. It's because there's still a lot of hesitancy around that because of the numbers of people who defect when they have a terrible AI experience. I mean, most of the people who are now getting into the range of having the buying power have already been interacting with bots, right? They know one right away. So don't try and hide it. Just try and get teamed up with a company who has a better agentic AI solution. That's what you really got to be looking for. All these other ones down here that are on this archaic software platforms, it just doesn't work. People are smarter than that now, and they would rather just go ahead and bypass the headache. I mean, have you ever tried to reschedule a flight?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, think about it. Right. You call any support line and you get it.
Can't get it online.
And it's not even because they don't like it in the automotive space. It's just they get it everywhere now. So if you're going to have one, it's got to be different. Which is why we did partner up with AWS. It's because their newest, Novasonic. It's the latest voice AI that came out for them, fully agentic, integrated with the CRM. Remembers every conversation from every customer that's ever had when they call in, so it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't repeat a process. It knows who you are. Right, and so it's a much smoother experience.
It recognizes the customer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, if you called, you missed your appointment. It's going to know you missed your appointment. It's going to. Would you like to reschedule? It's a whole different experience when it comes to that. Yeah.
So that's what you've been working on this for a good while, and
18 months,
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most exciting things that we have going on at the moment, that is actually addressing current issues and problems and opportunities that dealers have out there. But whether you're going to choose, for dealer partners out there watching now, whether or not you're going to use that or whether you're going to use people, it all starts with what we found, which was first analyzing a couple of things. What missed calls coming in are you experiencing? What's happening to them? And also your call analytics. What is it telling you about when these calls are coming in, and what times of the day are they actually experiencing the highest call volumes? And once you can do that, then even if you're going to have extra people on hand to answer the phone calls, can't necessarily be your service advisors, because you want them in the lane talking to people already have their car in the shop, making outreach to them without them having to call you to find out what's going on with their car, or if you need to have a conversation about additional service that needs to be done or additional service work, and you need to get the approval. But you need to be able to have your resources on hand to be able to handle that extra call flow, because we all know, and that's what everybody's starting to learn now, is if you don't get the call answered, I'm just going to call the next place is what I'm going to do. I might call, if it's basic maintenance, I might call an independent right up the road, because it's more convenient, and they'll actually listen to the phone ringing. And we also know that one of the big challenges there that service departments are experiencing also is the fact that if somebody does happen to reach a voicemail box that isn't already full because the advisors never cleaned it up, then their chances are they're not returning that phone call, even at the end of the day. So there's a lot of opportunity here to take advantage of the challenges out there whenever it comes to good customer service and keeping people happy and keeping them coming back. And it's all provided and fueled by the service experience. So going back, that's what we did at the store, was we found out how many calls we were missing, and we found out when we were missing them, and then acted on that. Actually, what we did was part of what brought Call Team 6 into existence, is we started having people, actually do that. But you can't just answer the phone and then take a message or anything like that. You have to build. That's what you guys are so good at. You have to build the connectivity automatically between the key personnel who need to know that information on the call they missed, and the service team, and making sure that they are actually address what the customer wanted ultimately.
Yeah, and that's what built the whole roadmap with the service BDC is we still do this today as a best practice. We measure the amount of call influxes by the hour. That's what we do. So we know, proper staffing. We know when peaks and valleys are. We know when to schedule, when to not. Again, we're not perfect at it by any means. But if you're going to give us a grade, much better. If you're going to give us a grade, we're an A player, U.S. based agents again, A player. On the service side. Yeah, absolutely. But if you think about some of the totals, right? You got about 48 million calls, or roughly, this is a Car Wars report that I'm citing, and 16 million were either sent to the wrong department or just gone in transfer land, just hung up, stuck on hold. Think about that. 16 million of the 48 million just who knows what happened to those, right? And we just onboarded. It's a true story. Everybody,
I'm not really good at math, but I think that's somewhere around 25%.
Yeah, 1 out of 4 just gone. So this is a funny but not so funny story. But service managers out there appreciate this. We're onboarding a client, right? And the way the store wanted it set up is our warm transfers go to the advisors, right? Because we're the BDC now, so that's what we do. So there's a service advisor that we start sending calls to, and a guy picks up. And he says, why do you keep calling me? Like, who are you? And so the service transfer, right, number that was tied to that service advisor was going to somebody's cell phone, some random guy's cell phone. And he's like, you guys have been calling me nonstop. I don't know who you are. I have no affiliation with a dealership. Wow. None whatsoever.
So audit your phone lines.
Well, and that's
your phone tree.
And I guess we can get into a little bit, but that's one of the initiatives that we're rolling out is you got companies out there who will do mystery shops, right? And that's what they do. They call in, they kegs, and they say, oh, here's how your agent, here's how the phone call went, and they record it. But we're going a step further with that and tying in a not only a mystery shop component of it, but a technology mystery shop. Right, we want to see how all the technologies that you have hired and make sure that they're behaving the way that they're supposed to, because 19 out of 24 on the test that we have recently done, none of it operated the way that they thought it was. So they signed up for these and they keep sending the check and they forget. No one really checks. Yeah, I have a system that does that. I have a system that does this, and this is all service we're talking about. But really, kind of think about that. 19 out of 24 failed. Their words, not ours. They were like, "What is this? This is really what's happening," and it's because you can't just do a mystery shop anymore. There's so much technology and so many AI companies and so many different plugs coming in from everywhere. You really have to do a mystery shop and a tech audit all at the same time to make sure that experience. And we're rolling that out right now. Again, 19 to 24 failed and said, what is this? This is my customers are going through this. 3-4 text messages immediately when they submit a lead. 2, 3, 4 phone calls coming in from 5 different people. Like it just anyway. It was pretty eye opening. But to go back to what you're talking about, what you guys did in the service drive back then, again, basics, right? Make sure all the calls are answered, and then let's see when the influxes are, so we know when to schedule and we know how to have what people where, when, at what times. I think also, Ken, one of the stats that you shared with me, the highest call volume on average between Monday through Friday in the service drive is 10 to noon. Right?
Yeah, right.
And if people are there at 7:00 a.m.
Right.
And now you're 10 to noon. Everyone's on lunch, everyone's on break, everyone's somewhere else, and that's the highest call volume.
Exactly. And again, I think, and we had ours. Going back to what you mentioned a bit ago too. Every store is a little different. Like I know when we had the CDJR store compared to the Volkswagen store, right? Remember the differences? You had to staff up a lot differently at the VW store.
The hours were completely different.
Completely different. So all service departments are not equal, and until you really measure it, you'd be surprised, because I wouldn't have thought there was that much of a disparity between the two dealerships, But I got to go back to the human side of things, because we can't overlook the human side of things. And I think oftentimes we just put people on the phones and we expect them to know what to do, right? And maybe just go out on a scheduler. But people, they buy people, right? And I go back to that oftentimes, and that's why it's so important, I think, that you do train your people, courtesy, empathy, to be able to really listen with active listening skills, to be able to restate, validate, and understand what the person is going through. So it's not only just answering the calls, but it's answering the calls intelligently so you can make the person have a certain feeling. Hate to say that, but people still connect with people they like, and they buy from people that make them feel good. And most people call into the dealership not feeling good. I call because I have a problem. My tire blew, my car makes a bad noise. I'm stuck on the side of the road. I don't want to go there. So how do we share the empathy? And I think that's one of the key takeaways, I think, that what we try to instill in our agents, at least, and I would encourage, whether you use us or anyone or yourself, is, people need to be taught how to listen. Hate to say that, but I mean, how do you actively listen, and how do you show empathy, and how do you care for your customer so they do stay with you? We talked about this a little bit ago. 60 to 80% of your net profit is coming out of your fixed operations. So
These days.
Yep. Correct. Yeah. And so my thing to that would be is that every person that touches your customer should be trained, and learn how to listen and show empathy and be able to really make a person feel a certain way, right? Because people have choices. They could go down the road to some third party, service department and get their oil changed, their tires, or whatever the case may be. Earning a customer's you earn the right to earn the customer's business by what we do, and it's like a law of reciprocation. People don't really know until they know you care, and that's why you think you talk from a point of understanding. So I know I ran a little bit on there, but I really am passionate about training and human development, because we have so much choices when we buy cars or get our services or wherever we go, and the people who have the best experiences are the ones that keep coming back again and again and again. And there's gold in service and parts. It's ours to lose based on processes and people.
There it was.
That's right.
There was the Ken X moment right there. We've been waiting an episode and a half
Took
now.
my verbiage, man.
But we talk about one misconception real quick, and I know it's maybe a little sort of on topic, but a little off topic, which is the new report just came out a couple of days ago, that the misconception is that independent shops are less expensive than dealerships. Okay. Independent shops, according to the report, are about $20 to $25 more expensive per RO than an actual dealership, right? So if we can answer the phone, number one, we can stave some of that even curiosity out of there. But number two, can we talk about how we should be marketing a little better to that? Because we've allowed the narrative to exist, right? Or when I say we, the dealership world, we've allowed that narrative to exist that independents have better pricing or they care more or whatnot. That's just simply not true. It's actually less expensive now to get your car worked on at a dealership, and we're just not answering phones. And we're not marketing. I have never seen a marketing. This is new to me too, so I'm not wagging my finger at anybody, but never seen marketing that states that, right? That says we're more competitive than these three independents, right, on average, because that's real hard numbers. That's just the facts. We as an industry gotta do better at that, right? Keeping these customers in, providing a better experience, and then also reminding them, well, the reality is we're actually less expensive when you come here than going somewhere else. It was pretty eye-opening stats, actually.
I want to say something to that, and I would tell you that it comes down to the process of your sales person. When you deliver a car, are we walking them back and introducing? I know that we get so focused on make the deal that we really don't really earn the deal. What I mean by that is that if you really care about the customer and give them a world-class experience, shouldn't you take them back to service and introduce them to someone back there? And that's where we make our first scheduled oil change and our first opportunity to shine. And now it's the handoff. It's like running this relay, and you were taking and handing the baton from sales to fixed, and now it's our customer to lose that customer. So that's why I feel it's so important that fix is such a huge piece of it, but it's almost segregated. We get the front end, we got the back end. It's kind of like we're not the same team, but we are. And a customer that's happy is going to keep buying from us again and again, and friends and family, and we know the value of what it is, and we also know what it costs us to be able to not take care of that customer. So a long-winded answer here, or my thoughts on it is, that handoff should be intentional. It should be scripted. So you can say, hey, this is the manager. He's amazing guy. You're going to love working with him. Here's his card. You can give him a call directly, and we'll go ahead and schedule it for you, and X, Y, and Z. And let me tell you a little bit about why we're rated 5 stars when it comes to our service department. We have a multi-million-dollar service department. All of our people have been ASE trained and certified. They're here to take care of your car, just like having the factory work on your car. That's what it's like bringing your car into our department here. It's like having the factory working on your car every time you need a repair. I mean, that's priceless. You're not going to get that down at Jiffy Lube or at the Quick Lube. You're not going to get that kind of quality. But are we selling it? Are we passionate about that? And I think that's what's missing. It's the people and the process and the training that I think could take your dealership to the next level.
I don't think it's any secret that that the increase in service retention for the first year is dramatically impacted by just what you talked about, which is setting up the first service right then and there, at time of delivery. And just to maybe a little emblematic of how, as a industry, we've kind of lost our way a little bit, is going back to sales training from 30 years ago, was some dealerships being really effective in this. They actually introduce somebody to the service department right after they come back from the test drive. Before the customers even said okay to the deal, they're being introduced then, because in order for you to bring your car into service, what must you do first? You got to buy the car.
Buy the car.
Right. So
yeah.
it's a mental
Assumption close.
It's a mental close. Yeah. Which helps, and also helps them. When for your first service after you take delivery, Mr. Phipps, you'll be more than likely dealing with Sarah back here. And Sarah, this is Toddy's hopefully going to be part of our new family here in just a short order. How easy and convenient is it to schedule servicing here typically for our customers? So that's it. But again, a good point you mentioned, Ryan, is about the independents out there, because most dealerships are like a Toyota dealership is typically not competing with another Toyota dealership whenever it comes to service. They have the distance between the stores in their territory set up the way they do for a reason, based in part on population. And so, if somebody's going to deal with an independent, candidly, Todd asked you about this. There's a reason why that you'll spend maybe up to 75 cents more for a gallon of milk at the convenience store than at the grocery store.
Convenience.
And why is that, right?
Convenience.
It's exactly why people are choosing to go get whatever maintenance or whatever servicing they can get done at an independent, is because of convenience and not because of
Money.
price. Yeah, 100%. So all of that intertwines and makes sense. Certainly something that is at the top of mind and top of awareness as dealers out there. And Todd, you deal with you deal with a lot of successful dealerships and groups out there. What are they telling you that today, for our other viewers out there in the dealership space who are watching right now, what are the more successful ones telling you that they're doing that gives them a competitive edge whenever it comes to phones, or whenever it comes to convenience or introduction at any particular point through the sales path? What jumps out at you that they're saying that they're doing that's working, or maybe something you're observing at some of the clients where without naming names, where there are gaps still existing?
So let's start with the first. Is several of my dealers still Introduction is mandatory for you to get your sign off on your packet. So once you have agreed, you go over to service and introduce them. You get a card signed, bring it back. It goes into the folder, and that's when you get in line for your delivery. So that's one thing that they're utilizing.
It's like a gate.
It's
then.
a gatekeeper, whatever you want
Yeah.
to do it.
Got it.
Two is there is still a lot of mistaken or I think gratitude is the main thing that I see that's got to be possessed inside of the dealership for your clients. And that is when Ken said process and perception is what I've always pitched to everybody with any kind of campaign. But you have to stay in touch with those customers. I told Ryan the other day I was standing at the desk at the receptionist, and the phone rang. She answered it, and she said, "I can transfer you now." And they said, "I've already been transferred 3 times. I'm getting bounced back to you. Nobody's answering back
Boy.
in their service." So I do know that AI is not picking up all that, and the receptionist's not handling the calls completely perfect. That customer didn't call back. I asked the girl, did the lady call back to talk to someone else? And she said no. So I think the main thing is you got to stay in communication constantly with the customer, because we've done those tests. It's not the independence. It's the fact you're not marketing to your client about their services after their warranty's over. They figure that they've been told on television all the time, Car Shield and all that. They need to go somewhere else for their service. But I think today you got to have gratitude towards all the customers, especially in service, because they're calling, like Ken said, with an issue. I'm calling with an issue, so I need somebody to help me.
Well, you labeled it earlier, and that's there's an entirely different level of intent with the service
Yes.
outreach from a client than it is with regard to sales.
Absolutely.
So, we have to be able to respond in kind and take it as as seriously as it needs to be, which means today more and more being proactive about getting your structure in place, which oftentimes today, if you want to try to add to your bottom line and increase your fixed ops margin, doesn't involve thinking that, okay, if we're receiving a 40% higher call volume from this time to this time in the morning, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out and have to hire 4 more people to cover those calls during that time, because you're going to have to pay them for the whole day, right? So you get economies of scale, which is and all that extra connectivity that you're talking about that really makes it work for clients who we're helping out in this very space. And you've actually talked to about Ryan about one of the clients who's had a fairly dramatic lift after doing this in their service gross productivity, in their appointments.
Well, their appointment count specifically. I mean, we're about to go visit them here just a little bit. Where 90 days ago, they were averaging 27 to 28 service appointments a day. And service manager just talked to me on Monday of last week, which is kind of what prompted us to come to Florida anyway, besides this wonderful podcast we're on, which is now he's averaging about 51, 52. And that's real numbers, provable numbers, that once you stick with this program of consistent follow-up, right? And we even help them sometimes schedule the first service appointment, right, on customers who didn't get it. So we get the list, we'll call them back and say, hey, we noticed this isn't on the books. Let's get you on the books right now.
That's important.
Yeah.
Right? That first one. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that plus the drips that you talked about, Todd, right? The drips, they keep coming, stay in contact, remind them that we're your dealership, nobody else.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to take care of you. We're going to take care of your car. A lot of it is just staying out in front. I mean, really, it's not like it's super rocket science, right? It's just putting a mechanism in place that has those reminders, that has those drops, and then, a lot of it, we use a lot of tech, obviously on our side, a lot of AI, but I think also what makes it or a little different on our side is that we haven't removed the human element, right? We have not made a transition to full SaaS, like we have for our stores who want people. You get them, no problem.
Well, you get the baton, like Ken said. You get the handoff. You still have a human being to hand off to.
Well, because there aren't too many. I mean, again, AI companies or what have you out there that they give you the option of doing this or that because they don't have BDCs.
Either in or you're out.
You're either in or you're out.
Yeah. Well, then I'm out.
Well, I'm sorry, Chief, but you're already in.
Yeah, right.
You can't be out, sir.
Yeah. Well,
But then why'd you ask me?
yeah. Well, here's a little interesting statistic, Ryan, to that point, is that 65% of the calls that do come in, all right, we talked about before, like 35 to 40 of them end up just not getting taken care of. 65% of those calls that do come in get transferred to someone who can take action, okay? But only 28% of the 65% actually get an appointment made. So what does that say? What does that say? I mean, do you kind of follow the logic here? So 65% of people get transferred to someone who can take action and give the customer what they need. But then how come only 28% of that number actually gets an appointment? So it's not just answering the phone call. It's what I said before. Process. It's about connecting. It's not just about answering. While I'm talking to a customer, one second, Mr. Customer, as I take my call to the customer, right? Just ring, my phone's ringing. I'm sorry, it's the third time it's came in. 1 second, real quick. I'm sorry. Ryan, hold on 1 minute, please. Hi, this is Ken. Can I assist you, please? I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. It's the third time. Yeah, I apologize. I can check. 1 second, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you there, Ken. I'm not going to go ahead and do the tires today.
Thank you. Right. Yeah. And so that's what happens. So what happens by not having a process, you have a process. It's just not one that you created. And it's one where the customer in front of you feels cheated. Like I really don't matter. Because obviously, why would you take the phone call? Why wouldn't this phone call be rolled over to some other company, that could take it for you? Cover your bases.
Which is why we rolled out, right?
Yeah.
We're rolling out the mystery shop / tech audit,
Thank you.
right?
Well,
I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
The audit's supposed to tell you where your deficiency is and help you get to that.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think a dealership would want to know if their call's going to a service advisor is actually going to some random guy down the
If
street?
you're a dealer out there right now and you don't want to know that, you've got issues.
Right.
Yeah, we're
and I
just-
don't mean you personally. I just mean the dealer, your department, your service department's got issues for sure.
It happens almost every onboarding. When we start going through, we get our DIDs, we start making calls, and it's like watching a firework explode. You don't know what's going where a lot of the times.
The phone system, Ryan, you've had 4 in the last month that were not correctly hooked up, remember?
Oh yeah, a couple. Yeah,
It
All
leads
jacked
going,
up.
Two stores had the same phone system. Leads going to
we
the
had
wrong store.
one Kia store. We had one Kia store transferring calls to their competitor when we went in and onboarded them. There was a line going to the other Kia store across. I'm thinking, if that's not an inside job, I don't know what is.
Right.
Like,
That's crazy.
I would track who went to work where when, because that's
Somebody worked there and left and went.
that's
to
what
the
I
other
mean. Like it was the craziest thing.
Here's a good line for that. I would say,
what?
I'd say advisors fix cars.
I'm gonna make a note of that.
We fix phone systems. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
Advisors should fix cars, but we can fix a phone system for you.
We can just help streamline it to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Make it manageable. That's all. When we onboard, we funnel them in a logical way that makes sense to not the store but to the customer. Like that's the best way to do it. But I mean, how many people are sitting around the dealership just going, "Wow, I'm just going to call these numbers." I mean, I get it, right? I get anyone can have their bed unmade at any point in time and get caught. But this happens 9 out of 10 new stores. The numbers go someplace that they clearly shouldn't.
Yeah.
And it's always service. I mean, that's where it happens a lot.
Great stuff. Absolutely. And that's what we do. That's how we can help dealers win every single day. And those are extra things that you get whenever you get a good company to be a partner with, for sure. So that is all we have time for, actually. I think we covered everything. If you're a dealer out there and you're experiencing trouble with all this and you're not getting your most out of your fixed ops department to contribute to the bottom line, you definitely should look at some of the things we talked about today. You provide yourself with the opportunity to get a company who can do the call audit, they can do the tech stack audit, and all of that, and we can help with that and do your mystery shops, and we can help with that too, because it's I don't there's really no better team to partner with whenever it comes to getting insight on that. Whether you choose to to do something ultimately or not, at least know where you sit and where things are. So that wraps up the mission launch and field report, and actually the entire episode of today's broadcast. So we really appreciate everybody tuning in. Obviously, we appreciate the Todd father, Todd Phipps, being here with us from today's
Enjoyed it.
for today's broadcast. Yeah, and coming all the way over from Tampa, and thanks for coming down from Jersey and also from Carolina. You guys, appreciate your being in the studio with us here, and thanks to our sponsors once again. Ben, right over there, Podcast Junkies. Ben, hopefully, hopefully now, whenever you're taking inbound calls, you know what you need to do, right?
Oh, I know. I already took notes. I've been taking notes this whole time. So
we really appreciate Podcast Junkies, by far the best production company in the entire area, and for social media management and all that. We really appreciate the partnership there. And of course, our other sponsor, Insight Live, and special marketing events company, who is the premier company to provide you with that extra return whenever you need it, and really help you to to win in today's challenging environment. So hopefully everybody out there, you came away with some good action items from today's focus on the fixed ops department, and how that a well-functioning fixed ops department starts and finishes with its improvements in its operations. So I believe that's everything that we've got today. Shout out again to Jay, music producer back in Carolina. So anything else? Do we wrap anything up, Ken?
No, that's everything. I think we hit it all, and I loved it. I love sharing the data. I love being able to help others grow, and so that's what that's why we're here, is to share the Success Leaves Clues model, what we see working. So it's great to have everyone tune in and take a couple of takeaways that they can apply right away that next day to their business.
And Todd, thanks for coming down.
Thanks
again.
for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoyed
And thanks for all the insight today, Ryan. Sincerely.
That's why you invite me onto these things.
We get the lowdown, the nitty gritty from the front lines, right?
He checks me. He said, "Do you have any stats for us?" No, I don't. Then don't bother showing up. Not until you've done your research. Then come back to us.
Right.
And so for these full episodes and everything, people can catch us where?
Spotify, YouTube. That's where you're going to be able to go, and then you're going to be able to get your clips of all of our tips and data and stats that we have out there that might help you move your dealership, fixed ops specifically on this episode, up just 1 or 2%. Again, that makes all the difference in the world. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, we're all there. But again, full episodes on YouTube and Spotify, and we'll be posting them on LinkedIn. So if there's something, just one little thing that you saw that you really liked, you really loved, just share it with a couple friends in the car business, and we can all start to help each other out a little bit more.
100%. All right, that is it from us here in the studio, and we hope you've enjoyed this episode 8 Hotel from Call Team 6, Special Ops for Car Dealers, your virtual remote BDC source for all things sales and service. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Mission Debrief.